What up, y'all? It's your boy, Born Shining. I'm Born Shining. You're Born Shining. We're all Born Shining. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. All right, so this little clip is going to be about what more about my truth and what I think is going on. All right. First, as usual, I want to give thanks to the universe, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Raphael. I want to give thanks to Jesus and the Ascended Masters, my spirit guides, uh, my ancestors, my spirit animals, all right, and all those demons that decided to switch teams because they realized they couldn't take me down, all right. And so this is more about my truth. And what is my truth? My truth is that I was born shining. That's why I picked this name, Born Shining. And in some way, shape, or form, I became disconnected with that fact, and I've been reconnecting with that fact. All right, I know that we're all born shining. And that's why I say that, because I don't feel like I'm special or different than anybody. I don't feel like I have any kind of superiority over anybody, um, except maybe in the sense that, no, it's not superiority. I'm willing to be vulnerable as fuck. I'm willing to be vulnerable as fuck, and I'm willing to put myself in what people would probably say very risky situations because I don't give a I'm willing to see what people are made of. You know what I mean? And it turns out that that's my job here, is to test motherfuckers and see what they're made of. All right? And if they don't make the right decision, then, you know, karma's a motherfucker. And I'm the perfect person to dole that shit out. I'm a Capricorn rising, and my Saturn is in Libra in my midheaven. So it's like fucking instant karma. You know what I mean? Uh, so that's part of my truth. And my truth is that I was born with some kind of, uh, you know, and just, I was born on the level. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like I was born on a level that it's like a lot of people try to get to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who to compare it to, and I'm not going to try to toot my own horn. And it's like the more I try to explain this, comparing myself to people, it's like maybe I'm going to sound like an asshole or whatever. But like, I was born knowing. I don't know what else to say. I was born shining. I mean, we're all born with the gift of mediumship, and all the mediums will tell you that. Anybody with mediumship ability will tell you that everybody's born with it. It's just something that a lot of people are talked out of. We're talked away from our natural gifts. Just like children are born knowing how to swim. All right? And if you don't know that, they are born knowing how to swim. And you can take a newborn baby and throw them in a fucking pool, and they'll fucking swim. And if you think about that, they've been surviving and they've been growing up in a womb in a sack of fluid. All right, they're perfectly comfortable in the water. All right, so the idea that people have been trained and convinced that they're of things, of their natural gifts, it's like trying to tell a fish that it's not a fish, and that it has to learn to swim, and you're teaching a fish to be afraid of the water. No, it doesn't work that way. So we're all born shining, and I know that. All right, but I was born with certain gifts. More than that, I think I was born with the clairs and some other shit, and it freaked my family out. My family is very religious, very Catholic, and there's probably a lot of other shit going on in there. But as far as like secret society stuff and probably like masonry and stuff that I'm not fully privy to, because if I knew that, uh, then probably wouldn't be here. But so yeah, so I was born with these gifts. Okay, born on like born I was born more connected to my parents. And when you're in like a really patriarchal family, I mean extremely patriarchal, like military family, generations of military service, okay, when you become, you don't do that. All right, that's not tolerated. Like, you can't jump. You know what I'm saying? It's like boom, boom, boom. You've got to come up the ladder. There's an order and a rank and all of this stuff. And so when I come along and I start talking about things and doing things and expressing things that nobody my age should know, you know, uh, I feel like they were threatened by that. And as you can see, like if you look at my eyes, like something about my eyes is not, you know, symmetrical and shit. It's like I feel like I was beaten. I feel like they tried to beat it out of me and convince me that I'm not that person. You know what I'm saying? uh, or that's not okay. It's not okay to be that person. It's not okay to have these gifts. Not only have them, but express them. You know, it's like you can have whatever you want, but just don't talk about it, or we're gonna beat your ass, or something like that. So that's part of my truth, and nevertheless, you can't. It's like how do you stop a you can't stop a dolphin from being a dolphin. It's gonna do what it does. You know what I mean? Like even if you take you put a dolphin in SeaWorld, you take a dolphin out of the ocean, you put it in SeaWorld, like it's still gonna be as much of a dolphin as it can be. And so in my life, it's like maybe I didn't have access to all my 100% of my gifts and whatnot, but I had some of them. And so I've always been getting signs, and I mean, for as long as I can remember. I think like my first manifestation experience happened when I was in like 5th grade. I remember I was looking for a GI Joe. I was looking for this fucking GI Joe, man. Like this, my favorite GI Joe. I was looking for this GI Joe. Couldn't find it anywhere. I turned my room upside down, inside out, and I stopped looking for it. And literally, like 2 minutes after I stopped looking for it, I found it. And it dawned on me. I was like, I just stopped looking for it, and I found it. And it was like it really hit me. And so I had a. It's just been a part of my life for a long time, manifesting and um, kind of like some of the secrets to how shit works. Although I've just picked it up by observing, and I didn't know at that time that this was something that I was born with or anything like that. So yeah, the next part of the truth is like fast forward to where I'm at now, and in my life, it's kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward. Uh, I can use my intuition to douse information. I can figure out and piece together and find information and collate it and figure out what's true and what's not, and like ask questions and dive into things. But when it comes to, okay, what do I want to do? Because that's something that I didn't even consider. That was never a question. I mean, I was literally like, I don't know how old was I? 30? No, 27, 28 before somebody ever asked me the question, what do you love about yourself? So I've had been through like 28 years of life before anybody ever asked me, what do I love about myself? And that was kind of what set me off. And that was my boy Smiz. And yeah. And so at that point, that kind of triggered something, and it set me on this path of like really looking into, okay, well, what is it that I love about myself? And I started digging, and I started looking at to like who I am and asking a lot of questions, and so the idea of like coming up off of the top, what do I want to do, never crossed my mind, because I mean, again, that was just not something that had crossed my mind. I mean, I grew up. My parents were Marines. My mom and my dad were all, they were Marines. I had an uncle that was in the Marines. I had an aunt that's in the military, in the Army. My grandparents too. My grandfather, uh, grandfathers on my mom's side were in the military. And so the idea of like, what do I want to do, especially when I was growing up, you know, when I was a child, that's just what children do. They do whatever the fuck they want. But then they put it into that, and then I started doing things that were like approved. It's like military approved uh, activities. Like I was in the marching band. I played lacrosse, and I would do stuff that was like not too risky. You know what I mean? Stuff that I couldn't really get into trouble doing. But then when I get into my adult life and I start to realize that these things are as fulfilling as they are, they're not really quite satisfying to quench. And then to be where I'm at now today, it's like, what what do I want to do? What kind of life do I want to create? What's important to me? What do I feel like doing right now? What makes me happy? You know, to some people those are really easy questions, but to me that's been a lifelong process. because again, that wasn't something that was always uh, there was a direct correlation between those things and like my own personal safety at home, or uh, yeah, dealing with my parents and shit, and how much they love me, or what I was allowed to do, or if I would get in trouble. um, all right, so yeah, we're at 10ish, so we'll cut that one and then I'll just start another one. All right, love you guys. Hope you're having a great day. Peace.